How's it going, folks? It is Matt back with another DigiByte video. So today's video, we're going to take a look at, is this the start of the alt season that we've all been waiting for so long, or is it just another random pump of the market before everything goes back to normal, or worst case, crashes back down a little bit? The market has been performing well. Essentially every single altcoin out there is up in the green today, DigiByte included, I believe. Right at this moment, up 7.57%. So the market's definitely performing well. Whether or not this is the true alt season that we've been waiting on, that remains to be seen. I'm not going to pretend that I read charts or can predict the future. I know a lot of other content creators out there are kind of making content based off the current market performance, calling alt season, saying, just hype terminology. I'm not going to do that. If it is, in fact, alt season, I will be thrilled. I'll be happy as can be. But if it's not, I'm still not all too worried about my investments that I've made, DigiByte specifically. And in this video, I'm going to break down when it is truly alt season, whether this is it or whether we're still waiting a couple weeks, months before that actually happens, why I think DigiByte stands a pretty good chance to perform pretty well during that time when all the hype and money starts coming back into the space, hopefully. I'm not saying that's going to happen, I hope it does. But anyway, I'll cover, basically I'm going to cover the 4 pillars that was tweeted out by DigiByte a couple days ago, I think 2 days ago, and I'll kind of back that up with my own thoughts as to why I think these 4 pillars that DigiByte has going for it is setting it up in a good position to have hopefully a good ROI when the bulls do finally run and all the altcoins take off. I don't think it'll be as crazy as it was during the last alt season, but who knows, as new money comes into the space, hopefully it's going into the projects that I've invested in. So first thing I wanted to talk about today, before we get into these 4 pillars surrounding DigiByte, just a quick thing to mention about DigiByte Pay. So DigiByte Pay tweeted out, I believe it was 2 days ago. It was the day I made my first video in a long time. So DigiByte Pay tweeted out, they said, just successfully sold DigiByte proceeds of a DigiCafe transaction to fiat using Bittrex. So their app will be updated soon and include the auto sell to fiat option through the Bittrex exchange. And that's a big deal for DigiByte Pay if they want to get integrated into merchants at the point of sale, because it allows that merchant protection that I was talking about in my last video that UTrust offers. It protects the merchant, so if they accept these cryptocurrencies, they can immediately convert that to fiat to avoid any of the volatility of the market. If the market's in an uptrend, they may want to keep the cryptocurrency as that value of that may go up in price, but at the same time, how volatile this space is, it could drop 5-10% in the span of a couple hours. So the merchant may be kind of skeptical at first when receiving cryptocurrencies as a form of payment, but if they have the ability to immediately convert that to fiat and preserve their wealth, it makes them more willing to accept cryptocurrencies at the point of sale. So that's a big deal for DigiByte Pay to integrate this auto sell to fiat option using the Bittrex exchange. This is the look at the DigiByte Pay's website. I'll provide a link to it in the description. They have different options for allowing the acceptance of DigiByte at the point of sale. One being through the DigiCafe mobile point of sale application. You can download the app on a tablet, smartphone, any smart device connected to the internet that has the ability to download an app can download this, and that's good for smaller businesses that use these types of systems when accepting payments at their locations. They also have the DigiByte Pay for WooCommerce, so any website out there in the world that is built on the WooCommerce type system. I don't really know much about web development, so I won't pretend to know, but this WooCommerce plugin makes it easy for those websites to integrate this and then accept DigiByte on their website. It's super easy to do. So again, I'll provide a link to this in the description below. And actually, this is the link to the WooCommerce plugin. So if you got a website out there, you're familiar with WooCommerce, check it out. Add DigiByte payments to your website. See what happens. So getting into these 4 pillars is why I think DigiByte stands a good chance of performing well when alt season does officially arrive. Whether it's starting right now, I don't know. not going to pretend to say I do know or that it is. I hope it is. But anyway, so the first pillar here, basically security. DigiByte has a strong vision for being a system for authentication. DigiID sets the bar in an ultra-secure login system, eliminating the need for usernames and passwords and preventing centralized storage of the login data based on strong cryptographic technology of DigiByte. So this being one of the first, I guess I'll call it the first pillar since I'm covering it first, is a very valid argument for getting the DigiByte brand out there. While the login system of DigiID does not require the use of DigiByte, it as a result does not create demand for the currency. So that in and of itself, using DigiID does not directly increase the value of DigiByte, but it puts the DigiByte name out there in front of people. And it's already gaining adoption. There's already multiple exchanges such as ChangeAngel.io. I should have mentioned in the beginning of this video is brought to you by ChangeAngel.io, but they've implemented the DigiID Atom ID technology. I think Crytrex is the other exchange that has implemented it, and thanks to Atom ID, there's been several Belgium websites that have integrated the technology as well. And as more people do that, it just puts DigiByte in the face of all those people out there, which again, brand awareness is one of the biggest things. Bitcoin is the market leader, the dominant force in the entire market because it's a recognized brand. People that don't know anything about blockchain, don't know anything about cryptocurrency, odds are they've heard about Bitcoin, and that brand awareness is big for a growing project. So as more companies adopt the DigiID technology, it's really going to take, I think, one major implementation of DigiID before it becomes sort of like a mainstream thing. It's almost every week or so there's a major hack where millions of dollars worth of data are stolen. How many more times is that going to happen before people say, wait a minute, maybe it's not a good idea to store all of our users' information in a single, centralized storage place where if that one database gets hacked, all of that information is leaked out and now exposed. It's not a good system. A decentralized system is going to be required in the future to protect the users of the world. People are eventually just going to stop using certain websites because all of their data is being sold or stolen. That's not a good thing. So moving to the next pillar, also along the lines of security, this one does add a demand for DigiByte at a small scale. But we also have a strong vision for DigiByte as a system of proof of authenticity, proven working use cases that allows anyone in the world to prove the authenticity of electronic content by securing its fingerprint on the DigiByte blockchain. It's all on the blockchain, it's scalable, and it's permissionless. And this is thanks to VID, a partner of the DigiByte awareness team. And VID is having a lot of success for being a relatively new company, still semi in their startup phase, but they're making big partnerships. AmSpec, that oil inspection agency, that's a massive partnership for VID, and the fact that they're uploading their documents, sending them across the DigiByte blockchain does add that demand for DigiByte, but also spreads the awareness of DigiByte, that brand awareness, as AmSpec, they're learning about where their documents are now going across. They're hearing about the DigiByte blockchain. And again, how secure DigiByte's blockchain is going to be necessary in the future as more and more data just continues to go digital. And proving the authenticity of these documents is going to be paramount in the future. Whether it's diplomas or a resume or your birth certificate or as VID's new partner with AmSpec, the authenticity of research and I forget what, the inspection reports that they're doing on oil. The more data is being transmitted, sent electronically, and if you can't prove its authenticity, what is it really worth? So the third pillar, getting into the third pillar of DigiByte, is DigiAssets. So we have a strong vision for DigiByte as a system of tokenization. With DigiAssets, you can create a digital representation of any real-world asset. It's highly secure, immutable, permissionless, easy to transfer without a middleman, and this will be the economic revolution. hands down, without a doubt, tokenization of real-world assets is going to be the future. Whether it's all done on DigiByte's blockchain or whether it's done on Ravencoin's blockchain or any of these other Ethereum, any of these blockchains out there that can tokenize assets, I think it will be more of a collective where some are built here, some are built here. But ultimately, I think DigiByte stands a fantastic chance of being one of the dominant ones in that space due to its scalability, due to its security. Those things are necessary when you're transferring wealth back and forth across the world. You got to make sure it's secure, and you got to make sure it's getting there fast. As more people, there's only roughly 1% of the world that's using cryptocurrency at this point in time. But when that gets to 5% of the world, or 10%, 30, 50, up to 90+% of the world, it's going to have to be fast. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, Ethereum, 25 transactions per second at the present time is not near fast enough. It's already seen issues just with the small percentage of the world using, I think it was CryptoKitties. It caused issues. So if you think about long term, when businesses have their assets tokenized and then just random citizens of the world are tokenizing their deed to their house or the title to their car, or as I pointed out in my last video, the Nick SC, who runs SC Farms, he created his own asset that allows you to invest in his shrimp and crab farm. And as more people do that, obviously the more transactions there are, it's going to take a scalable blockchain that can actually handle those and not crash or not have hours and hours or days in between transactions. Otherwise, it's not practical. It's not an improvement on today's system, so people aren't going to use it. So it's going to take a system such as DigiByte that has the proven transaction speed necessary to handle larger volumes of transactions when more people out in the world start adopting this type of technology. So one thing I wanted to mention along the lines of Digi Assets, I have created my own Digi Asset. It's called the Cryptocurrently Token, the CCT. I'll just briefly read the description of what it is. This is the Cryptocurrently Token. At present, it is designed to be airdropped on community members across various social media, mainly YouTube and Twitter, because that's all I use. But be sure to share them, spread the awareness of Digi Assets, but also be sure to hold on to a few. So while the full utility of this token is undecided at the present time, I'm exploring different options to use it, potentially as a voting system. Maybe I'll on YouTube make a poll, or maybe on Twitter or something, and let you decide what type of video you guys want me to make. You can send those assets to specific wallets, and whichever wallet receives the most assets, obviously that's the winner. That's the video I will end up making. And there's also the possibility, there's no this is not set in stone yet, but possibility, if you gain enough of them, if you send them back to me, possibility of getting a free prize, such as maybe a free cryptocurrency mug from Crypto Bontom's website, maybe a free t-shirt. But again, the details of that are still undecided. Obviously, I can't have 100 people all cash in at once for a t-shirt, and then I can't afford 100 different t-shirts all at the same time. So I have to fine-tune that, find out what the cash outs would be, and then ultimately be careful not to send out hundreds or thousands of these CCT tokens all at the same time. So getting back to the last pillar, and I think one of the most important, aside from Digi Assets, because these two obviously increase that demand for DigiByte, which increases the value of it, which we are all hoping to do. But it's a very suitable part of the global payments system with 6 years. I believe it's technically like 5 years and 3/4 of a year, almost 6 years. Proven, battle-hardened, globally distributed, 100% decentralized proof-of-work UTXO blockchain and cryptocurrency with its own mobile wallets. It's ultra-fast, super low fees, and it's ready to scale for that global adoption. It's the perfect merchant coin, and I agree with that. And again, it's one of the strongest pillars I think that DigiByte has going for it. With all of the economic uncertainty, I've seen a lot of articles, mainstream articles like CNBC, CNN, Fox, etc., talking about the potential for recessions in the United States. And it's not just specific to the United States. With all of these negative interest rates across the planet now, it's not looking good for the entire globe's economy. So if something negative were to happen in the economic spectrum and all of our fiat currencies suddenly started losing their value, people are going to look to alternatives. Gold is a solid alternative, I'll give it that. But when it comes to daily spending, it's not practical in my opinion. If you have a couple ounces, sorry my phone keeps going off here, but if you have a couple ounces of gold, that's a great thing, and obviously it's going to hold its value, but how do you spend that? Do you like shave off a little bit at the grocery store and buy your groceries? Or let's say you order something online, and how do you send your gold? Do you mail your gold to this individual and they wait to receive it and then they mail you the product that you ordered? See, it's just not practical for today's society. Maybe it could be used at the point of sale, but in a digital world where we're buying and selling things online, using gold as a form of payment is not practical. So we're going to need a alternative to that. So you may think Bitcoin being in the market leader, yes, but handling 7 transactions per second is not practical for daily online purchases. Or even if they implemented and got full SegWit implementation going, it's not practical. Plus, DigiByte already has SegWit, and with SegWit, it handles over 1,000 transactions per second, which is certainly more practical. I see Bitcoin more as, if it becomes the global reserve, maybe like countries buying and selling oil, or large exports of agricultural goods, or just consumer items in the age of consumerism. Maybe using Bitcoin country to country like that, but in terms of you, me, and everybody else in the world spending currency just to buy the things that we want or to buy the things that we need every single day, it's not practical. It's going to take blockchains like DigiByte that can actually handle that transaction speed, and not just transaction speed alone, but as pointed out here, 100% decentralized proof of work UTXO blockchain. Decentralization is going to be the key for acceptance at the point of sale. If I'm buying products in China, it's a Chinese company or whatever, they're not going to want to receive my XRP, more than likely, just for the geopolitical aspect of it. If Ripple is an American company based in America and they hold a large majority of the supply and adds centralization to that project, and a lot of these pre-mined coins out there, it's the same scenario. The company behind it holds a vast majority of the supply, which adds centralization and ultimately the potential for them to manipulate and control that currency, which is not good when you're talking about spending money every day at the point of sale. You don't want a currency that could be easily manipulated, whether they promise they're going to or not. You're still at the mercy of whether they are true to their word or not. Whereas a project like DigiByte, with 100% decentralization, no company whatsoever behind it, no CEO, no employees, it's truly decentralized, meaning that truly nobody out there can manipulate it or control it or stop it, unless the internet of the entire world goes down at once, nothing can stop the DigiByte blockchain. So that's what I think gives it a leg up if there was some economic uncertainty across the planet. It would allow it to slip through these geopolitical boundaries, because there's not any one country that can exert control over it. There's not any one small group of people that can exert control over it. There's no company that can exert control. So that decentralization is going to be absolutely paramount going into the future. And I think the most truly decentralized projects out there are going to be the ones that succeed and potentially gain that adoption as a daily currency at the point of sale. So I didn't mean to get super long-winded in this video. Hopefully you guys stuck it out through the end, but those are the 4 pillars, and those are the 4 reasons why I think DigiByte stands a great chance of having success when alt season does truly happen. So hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, like it, share it, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.